Hello, hello. Oh, it's been a while. Been on hiatus over the holidays and just haven't had the chance to make a video, but we're back. Today I wanted to show one of the drills I run. Basically when I'm warming up or just to keep mechanics sharp. It's a single player exercise and it's gonna be a 8 fact TvP build that I kind of run this, once every couple days or so at this point. And over the holidays, when I was on my laptop, if I found the chance to, I did this as well on the laptop. So, yeah, let's get into it. I go to single player and load up a Terran computer. This is the most consistent AI. The Protoss does a couple different openings, and so does the Zerg. Like the Zerg one even has like a 4 or 5 pool rush, so we don't really want to deal with that. Terran AI is the way to go. So let's go. We're gonna do our split. So this is all actually inspired by a video that I watched when I first started playing about a year ago. That Mooney put out. It was something like single player replay analysis where he did a 5 fact and then looked at his own timings and metrics and such, and basically he would look at how well he's doing the build and then just over iterations keep track of how things are going and if he's making improvements or not. So I kind of adopted that for myself as well, and here I want to show you how I'm approaching the up through the 5 fact, the early game and the mid game through the 5 fact, and then extend it out to the 8 fact 1-1 build, which is now like super meta in TvP. This might not go perfectly because talking while doing this is a little hard, but I'll try my best to make the build as smooth as possible. And the good thing about single player is like you can kind of practice kind of whatever you want, just use your imagination. So what I mean is, obviously you're going to be scouting a Terran computer, right? And that's not a Protoss opponent, but you can just make assumptions like, okay, today I'm going to practice as if this Protoss went Observer, or as if this Protoss went DT, or something like that. Like, in this game I'm going to say probably that I am going to scout. Once I find him, I'm going to say, okay, I spot that he's going rangeless expansion, and kind of go from there. And so, sometimes you can build a lot of turrets, sometimes you can build very few turrets. Just depends on what you are trying to practice against. Maybe that doesn't make too much sense, but just let me know. Let me know if it's too confusing. So, just the standard factory opener, 13 scout. I'm gonna go for in scout because I do intend on rushing the close spawn Nexus first. And we get a 230 factory, which is alright on the left side. Nothing too crazy there so far. I'm gonna make a marine here. I'm gonna go for 3 marine. And may not have a bunker, okay? May not have a bunker. So when I scout him, I'll see if he has a nexus down. And when I say this is all hypothetical, right? So when I scout this computer, I'm going to tell myself, oh, okay, I just found his nexus at this so-and-so timing, which is early timing. And based on that information, I'm concluding that he went rangeless expand. So if he went rangeless expand, I'm gonna skip the bunker. Okay, I don't need the bunker. And of course, there's always the possibility of Zealot, but for that one, probably need a separate video to discuss the intricacies of that one. It's gonna there's a couple things to talk about there. All right, so we know our opponent is here. Here we found him. Oh, okay, it's a rangeless. Make our third depot. Add on. Vultures go straight at him. So at this point we already saw the Nexus, so the SCV doesn't really have much to do. I'm gonna send it home. You could keep it out too, you could do plays like proxy starports, things like that, but let's just keep it simple, okay? And again, we're skipping the bunker because we're assuming that they're doing rangeless. And we just scouted to confirm they're rangeless. Gonna go for... This is cross map, so I would have maybe just went vulture, but let's go for one tank push just to be like more generic, because for close spawns, one tank push is pretty good. Here's our SCV coming back. And we're making one tank, researching mines, and getting a fourth marine to go with our one tank, and we're going to rally out a vulture with it. And we're going to have our initial vulture to help lay mines. And we can now transfer SCVs, split them up at around 12 to 1300 HP on the command center. And they'll get there at a nice time, as you can see here. And for the purpose of this tutorial, let's go Armory. I do think it is a little easier to execute for the simple reason that, you know, you're not, as opposed to two-factor, right? Because you're not managing 2 factories worth of stuff, okay? And you might get supply blocked easier, like all sorts of things. Armory is just easier. Okay, let's assume that he has a wall in and he hit his goons behind there because he saw my tank coming, so that's gonna be what we're dealing with here. Get your eBay at 530 or so. You can delay it a little. Cross map, but not too much. So let's say, yeah, he's hiding his goons behind the wall because he's kind of scared of this stab for whatever reason. Okay. And then we're gonna use the space that we created with our tank to lay some mines. That was a mistake, I didn't want to double up there. Get our second gas. Put a mine here, and then send some guys up there to get a mine. Get a second factory. Get +1. Got supply block for a little bit there. Not great. Okay. Yep, lay a mine here. And we're out of mines, so we have decent enough coverage. Okay. And you notice I'm like double queuing SCVs. It's very important to do this to not miss SCVs. You think you're doing it fast enough, but you're probably not if you're waiting for it to finish before making the next one. Just because you're just gonna keep losing gaps here and there. And let me pause. Right now, if you want observer, it should have come out already and started clearing mines. If he's gonna take a third base, that's where you would see the mine explode. And so, for example, the toss third base here, if that one explodes, then you know he's probably trying to take a third. You can also confirm with for sure with your vulture. And another play is to try to use your vultures to try to snipe the probe, making that explode. Obviously, I can't do it here because the opponent doesn't have a probe doing that. But so let's assume in this game that that's what the Protoss does. Of course, the other option is the Protoss can also take the obs and goons and go straight at you. But for now, yes, let's assume that he's taking his third. And based on that assumption, that's why I didn't make turrets after my eBay was finished, okay? But if we were doing a different drill where we're assuming that the Protoss is going straight shuttle, not obs, then we'll say, oh, okay, our mine saw a shuttle flying. Let's quickly make turrets on reaction. But again, for the purpose of this drill, we're just saying TOS is going super standard, rangeless, natural expand into obs into third. Okay, so we saw the obs already with our mines. And we're just going to make one turret here for now to deny the obs coming straight to our, to look at our army. We're okay, we're fine with him, and we're going to get siege here. We're fine with him looking at our, wow, it's hard to play on top. At our factory count, we don't care about that. We'd rather save the money for making the turrets, which lets us pull up our academy time. You see, we're getting academy at a decent enough time. Could probably be even faster, to be honest. And we're going tank Goliath with the intent to add our factories very quickly. So let's go ahead and add them now, because again, we saved a lot of money from not making a crap ton of turrets, and from making that Goliath. Goliath. Tank. But prioritize SCV first. And okay, make the tank. It's okay. See, like, it's okay to pause factories for a little. Just don't pause SCVs at this point in the game. And now our siege finished, and he's coming across to us at a, you know, maybe he cleared, got his third, and now he's kind of coming to do a little siege check to see if we got siege or greeted by skipping siege. And of course we did get siege. And for the purpose of this game, we're going to assume that they're going 3 base into ARBs and not speed shuttle style, which is not as common at the lower levels. As in, speed shuttle style is not as common at the lower levels. Okay? So we're not going to be really making a lot of defenses in our main and natural in anticipation of speed shuttles. Make a turret here. Okay, our next step is to get a 3rd command center rolling after these comsats. And once your 5 factors up, you do need to go 2 depots at a time. So let's scan, and we're scanning his base. Oh, okay, he's going arbiters after he took his 3rd. Let's get our +1 armor. Because he's going arbiters, we should be able to just walk out and take our base on location. His tech is fast enough. He didn't, like, you know, just skip a lot of things to go for bus timing. So let's just confidently walk out. Maybe, you know, if we have scan energy, we would have scanned to clear some observers. And where's our SCV? That's here. Okay. So a little bit late, like I said, the Academy could have been crispier, which would let us scan more crisply and then get this 3rd on location better, but you know, that's how it goes. While talking and playing. Okay, let's make this. And then now we're going to get another... We reset our rallies outside. We're going to get another 2 factories. Reset those rallies here. Siege everything. And... So this is kind of... Oh, and vulture speed. And this is kind of like... This is kind of how the build goes. The 8-fact 1-1... Very easy way to play TvP. And it's my favorite way right now to play TvP. Very straightforward. And, you know, of course, you can also... Like, if I wasn't talking and I actually have vulture speed, I would also be, you know, trying to practice, oh, okay, I should also be out on the map with vultures, checking the corners to see if he's taking those, you know, keeping an eye on his army, things like that. So you could also work in, you know, whatever variation that you want to work in to your own game plan, right? For your own game plan. Get the 3rd comsat. Once these 7, 8, what, 5, 7, once the 7 finish, you can make your 8th. That's how light does it. And why don't we pull these guys back and plug this off with a bit of a depot block. That's a good habit to do. You really want this to slow down their backstabs. You don't need the 3rd gas tube very quickly in this variation, because you're not getting a starport, okay? Notice that I never made a starport so far. Okay. And of course we can practice scanning our opponent. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he's just massing up, blah, blah, blah. Maybe he took his 4th, maybe he took a 5th as well, whatever, right? So around this time, my 1-1's finished, and I feel strong enough with this build to move out. I've done this build many times, and I know this is a good timing. Around, you know, 11 to 12 minutes, having a certain supply, you should feel very powerful. And so let's move everything out after hockeying them. And when you're moving out, that's when you make your starport and you can make your gas, you can make your CC for the 4th, either on location or to fly over, whatever the game situation dictates. We're going to scan ahead to see where he's at. Of course, you should also have vultures out on the map to keep tabs on his army. But really, a lot of things you can add on to this exercise. Okay, his army's over here.
Not enough energy.
And this attack will also always happen with the Terran AI, which is why I kind of like it, because at around this timing, you'll have whatever, you know, however you can macro. And so from over successive trials, you'll be able to see, like, what's your supply when you're fighting this move out from the computer. It's like gonna be some weird marine medic tank move out. Okay, so that's, sorry, 13 minutes now. Let's wrap this guy up. And now we're gonna watch the replay to see if there's anything we can learn that or pick up that we should be focusing on. The first thing I usually do is, I've done the early game part of this so many times, now I just skip right past it. But, you know, for you guys out there doing this for maybe your first time or so, check this out. Go to around 3:30. Make sure this is when you're getting your CC up. That's like, here is 3:32. You know, I might get a 3:30 on the right side mining, but it's around this time, right? Make sure you're hitting that one. And then after this, make sure you're hitting your third depot as soon as you get the minerals. Okay, so here I have 113 minerals. Okay. So I'm a little late there, to be honest. I'm like 4 seconds late, but check your own replays and see how late you are and see if you beat me or if you're even slower than me here. That third depot is very important to continue your SCV production. And after that, see if you made your add-on on time with the money. So right now I have 61 bucks. I should be making it immediately, and I do. So make sure this is at 3:30. This depot is as soon as you have 100 minerals. You saw I already sent the SCV to make it as soon as I was ready to, but I was like, you know, over here controlling my scout SCV, or I don't know, doing something else, right, that I shouldn't have been doing. Make that ASAP, and then make this shop ASAP. This shop determines your timing of your mines, so you really want this as soon as possible. After that, let's see, what should we check? You can just check that you're getting things when they come out, check your SCV counts. The one place that's easy to check is 8 minutes. Let's go to 8 minutes. 7859 800. Okay. This is a good time to check the SCVs. You haven't built comsats yet. If you have built comsats, you need to take that into account because it's not apples to apples. But if you haven't built comsats, you can have 52 or 53 SCVs that includes your scout SCV. Okay, so in this game, I must have missed one SCV along the line because probably from like a combination of like 1/5 of a supply block here and there, you know, like this, one of these supplies was a little bit blocky and we saw that third depot was a little bit blocky. So that probably added up to one SCV over time. But you saw in general, I hit almost every single SCV, right? So check your own replays at 8 minutes, no comsats, and see if you can get around 50, okay? And if you can't, just keep going over it again and again until you get, you know, a couple higher every time. Eventually, it'll become like second nature. So that's the second place I'm checking in my replays, just to make sure, you know, my mechanics are on form. Are all my factories going down at this time as well? Yes, they are. They're all about halfway done, which is quite a good timing. If it's less good, you probably have fewer SCVs, and these factories could be later as well, and you don't have Academy finished, right? So it just depends on your own replays. And the purpose of this is just, it's just to set a benchmark. And then in trial 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just try to improve on something, one little thing at a time. All right. Next place I go to is 10 minutes, just to see our army comp. We have 11 tanks and 11 vultures and 2 Goliaths. All right. So pretty decently sized army. Our SCV count is 60, which is really good. Supplies around 119. This is probably average. You could probably get between 120 to 125, maybe 130. Okay, so just those are the metrics. Try to hit something like that. You know, if you start off hitting 100, just keep working at it, right? Just keep working at it, building it up. And of course, like take into account if you lose some units to the computer move out, right? If you lose some units to there, then obviously don't forget to include those units. What else? I'm already posting up my factories number 6 and 7 at 10 minutes, which is a nice time to do that. Make sure that these factories are going up as soon as your third has been started. You know, like earlier the better. And you can, you know, depending on the game state, you can even cut vultures or whatever to get these up faster. Because if the Protoss isn't going to attack you, why do you need these vultures right now? Right? You don't need them for anything. So faster factories can sometimes be prioritized, but again, depends on the game state. Here, we're just trying to nonstop pump, okay? And you want around 60 to 65 SUVs for the whole game, basically. So here we're at 60, and I kind of have a feel at this point of when I should stop. So at this point, I kind of already stopped. I'm happy with 60, all right? It could be 65, but 60 is totally doable. Finally, let's go to 11 o'clock. And you want to have between 140 plus supply here. This is like kind of a good standard to have. You'll be able to hold any bust the Protoss can do with this supply, as long as everything's positioned correctly, of course. And, you know, it's not like all unsieged or whatever. That's what you need to hold like a 200 stasis bust, okay? And then 12 minutes. 12 minutes. Let's see. Our 1-1 upgrade is finished, right? 1-1 upgrade is finished. We have 173 supply, which is certainly enough to be able to move at least to the middle of the map and pressure the toss, if not outright kill them. And it's going to force them to use their first stasis or two on this army. They will not be able to wait around for a recall. If they do, you can just go kill them. And defend with reinforcements from 8 factories. And remember, when you're moving out, which happens a little bit after this. So when you're moving out, put up the starport, third gas, and the 4th CC. Just make the 4th CC somewhere, anywhere. Like, anywhere is good. You can always float it later. Here's the starport. Obviously, after starport, add sci-fi and second armory. And you can add more factories later, too. But yeah, that's basically the build in a nutshell. The fighting is a lot easier with this build than with Upgrade Terran. You kind of just have a very high supply at an early time where the Protoss isn't like double your army size with like, you know, 6 different bases and 50 gateways, right? Like this is a timing where they can't really have that. And if they do, this kind of punishes that. So let me know your thoughts. All right. Good luck.